Do you ever wonder why we eat 3 meals a day, plus snacks in between? Is it really because we're hungry, or is it just what we've been taught? Here's the truth. For most people, eating on that schedule is more of a conditioned response than a true biological need. And when you see how much energy your body is actually storing at any given moment, it might completely change the way you think about hunger. Let's start with a fact. Almost everyone in the modern world has enough stored body fat to survive for days, weeks, or even months without food. That sounds extreme, right? But let me explain. 1 pound of body fat holds about 3,500 to 3,600 calories of energy. Think about that. Your body isn't just carrying around a little backup energy. It's like walking around with a fully stocked emergency generator built right into you. Let's make this real with an example. Imagine a 45-year-old man, 5'9" tall, weighing 175 pounds at 30% body fat. That means he's carrying around about 52 pounds of fat. Multiply that by 3,500 calories per pound, and you get roughly 182,000 calories of stored energy just in fat. Now, this man's total daily energy expenditure, or TDEE, is about 2,295 calories. If he didn't eat a single bite of food, in theory, his fat stores alone could sustain him for almost 80 days. That's over 2.5 months.
By the way, if you're finding this information helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to help me continue creating more content like this for you.
So why do we still feel like we need breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks? Because society has trained us to eat on a clock. Schools, workplaces, family traditions, all of these reinforce a routine. Over time, your body learns to expect food at certain times, and it sends signals we interpret as hunger. It's almost exactly like Pavlov's dogs. You've probably heard the story. Pavlov rang a bell every time he fed his dogs, and eventually, just hearing the bell made them salivate, even if there was no food. That's what happens to us with mealtime. The clock strikes noon, and suddenly we feel hungry. Even though our body still has tens of thousands of calories stored away, it's not true hunger, it's conditioning. And here's where things get even darker. Because this conditioning isn't just cultural, it's also been orchestrated. The modern food industry, or big food, profits by making you eat more often than your body needs, and more calories than you can burn. That's why processed foods are deliberately designed to be hyper-palatable, loaded with sugar, refined grains, vegetable oils, and flavor enhancers that light up your brain's reward circuits like a slot machine. It's food science with one goal: to keep you coming back for more. Think about it. Why does almost every aisle in the grocery store overflow with packaged snacks? Why are we constantly told that grazing or eating small meals all day long is healthy? Because it means you're buying more food. And the consequences? Overeating, obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease. The list goes on. But instead of fixing the root cause, diet, guess who steps in next? Big Pharma. Pharmaceutical companies make billions treating the symptoms of diet-induced disease. Think about the drugs prescribed for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, acid reflux, and chronic inflammation. These medications don't cure the problem, they manage it. That means customers for life. It's a perfect cycle. Big food creates the problem with ultra-processed, addictive products. People get sick. Then Big Pharma sells the solution in the form of drugs you take every day. And both industries keep raking in profits while the public keeps getting sicker. Meanwhile, messages that could break the cycle, like eating whole, nutrient-dense foods or embracing fasting to let your body burn fat, don't get the same promotion. Why? Because you can't patent fasting. You can't make billions off telling people to eat less frequently. There's no profit in restraint. So instead, we're bombarded with ads, slogans, and even government dietary guidelines that encourage constant eating, not because it's good for us, but because it's good for business. And here's proof of just how much energy we can tap into. Back in the 1960s, a man named Angus Barbieri set the world record for the longest medically supervised fast. He went 382 days without eating solid food, living off his body fat stores and supplementing only with vitamins, electrolytes, and regular medical checkups. He lost over 270 pounds and walked away healthy. Now, before you get any ideas, it's critical to stress: do not try anything like this without strict medical supervision. Extended fasting can be dangerous without monitoring, and Angus's case was highly unusual. But it does show just how much energy the human body is capable of storing and living on. And this isn't just a modern curiosity. For most of human history, periods of fasting were unavoidable. Our hunter-gatherer ancestors didn't have supermarkets or refrigerators. They likely experienced regular stretches of famine between successful hunts and during harsh winters when food was scarce. On top of that, fasting has been practiced intentionally for thousands of years for mental clarity, spiritual growth, and religious rituals. From ancient Greeks and Romans to Buddhist monks to Ramadan and Lent, humans have long recognized that going without food can sharpen the mind and strengthen the spirit. Now let's talk about what happens in your body during fasting. When you first stop eating, your body runs on glycogen, stored sugar in your liver and muscles. Most people store enough glycogen to last about 24 to 36 hours. Once those reserves are depleted, your body starts producing ketones from fat, which fuel your brain and muscles. This state is called nutritional ketosis. And here's an important point. While your body prefers to run on fat and ketones during fasting, your liver still makes a small amount of glucose. Certain cells, like red blood cells, can only run on glucose. The liver takes care of that through a process called gluconeogenesis. So even while you're fasting, nothing shuts down. The body just shifts into a more efficient, fat-fueled mode. The good news is that fasting seems to be making a comeback. From celebrities to doctors to everyday people, more and more are giving it a try. The most popular form of fasting is intermittent fasting, sometimes called time-restricted feeding. This means eating all your meals within a certain window each day, say 16 hours of fasting and an 8-hour eating window, also known as 16 to 8. Some people go 18 to 6 or even 20 to 4. Here are a few tips for getting started. Start with a 12-hour fast, for example, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Slowly push breakfast later or dinner earlier until you hit your target fasting window. Drink water, black coffee, or unsweetened tea during the fast to help with hunger. So the next time you feel that mid-morning snack attack, remember, it might not be real hunger. Chances are, your body already has more than enough energy to keep you going. Our 3 meals a day culture isn't about biology. It's about conditioning. Just like Pavlov's dogs responded to a bell, we respond to the clock. And let's be real, big food and big pharma have every reason to keep us eating more often than we need. They profit from our cravings, our habits, and ultimately, our illnesses. But history, science, and record-breaking fasts remind us that we're built to thrive without constant eating. If you found this eye-opening, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into how the body really works. And tell me in the comments, have you ever tried fasting? Even skipping just a single meal? How did it feel? Let's compare experiences